Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Right, today, carrying on my sort of gym theme. Right, so breakdown on nutrition, especially for somebody who's sort of my age, sort of 40 and over. I'm 45, right? Now, since my youth, when I'm training, always into the nutrition. It's something that really interested me, and I've always kept up with it. You know, even if I wasn't training, I haven't trained for a long time. Always been kept up with the nutrition side and different sides of things and all that sort of. But I don't personally do myself justice overthinking. The best way to do it is just to train, but not overtrain, and just eat well. Eat healthily and eat plenty of protein. Not overdo the carbs. Now I do include some carbs. I'm not bodybuilding as such for show, you know, or anything like that. But when I get to the stage where hopefully I'll get back to how we used to be, ish. So not sure if you know, but as you get older, I would say after 35 or 40, well after about 35 onwards, your body changes a little, and your body can't process the sort of protein fast enough. Okay, so as you get older, you need to eat more grams of protein per body weight per meal. As you're younger, you could put 25 grams of protein in every meal, have 6 meals a day, and it will digest faster. Okay, so you could have less protein per meal and have it all go through. Now all that sort of, as I say, 25 grams, 20 grams all goes in. As you get older, if you're trying to put that 25 grams in, you may only get 10 or 15 grams going through your system, so you need to add more. And of course, the bigger you get, the more you have to load and so on. But as a rule, you almost have to eat twice as much in grams of protein per body weight. So now I am trying to sort of cut down body fat as well. So I've got sort of like a guide for anybody who's watching. If you're over sort of 40, you're trying to lose a little bit of weight but still trying to gain some muscle and some strength or whatever, a good sort of starting base. Now I will have another video of a starting base for training, whether you'd be mainly strength training, which I would advise to do if you're starting to get back into it. You need a baseline of strength, and then you can work on maybe size thereafter. But I've got it written down now. And each meal is roughly about 50 grams of protein over 3 meals, and then you've got a protein shake about an hour or so before you go to bed. So for me, I'm having 4 eggs, and every average size egg is about 8 grams of protein. I'm not going to go into all the grams of protein in each meal, I'm just doing this as an example. And that'll be more than likely, I'll scramble it, okay? And then a tin of baked beans. You drain all the juice off, and then throw it in the pan with the eggs. Fry that up with, I tend to use extra virgin olive oil, just a touch, stop everything sticking, and the oil is very good for you as well. So stick that in. When the eggs are enough done, throw the drained beans in there. Little knob of butter. It's always good to get your fats in. Fry that up, okay, and just eat that as it is. No bread, and you know, I'm going to be having potato and rice throughout the day, so you don't want to overload carbs, especially today's bread. It's crap. So overall, that tin of baked beans and the 4 eggs is roughly about 50 grams, right? And so I'm not going to go through, but each one of these roughly translates to 50 grams, okay? So that's breakfast. So I'll train before that. So I'll train early in the morning, come home, shower, settle down for an hour, then eat. Okay, you want your body to not be in a state of shock, if you will, from training. You want at least an hour to calm down. So midday, so my second meal will be a relatively large jacket potato. Okay, so medium to large in size, the jacket potato. Have that, cut it in half, mash it down with a bit of butter. Tin of mixed vegetables. You can get them in tins, you can get them, it's better to have them like frozen packets and boil them up as you use them. As tins, there's chemicals in tins on the inside if you didn't know. So it's better to have like plastic bag, loose bag of frozen. If you can, if not, have the tin. That will be layered on, or sort of spread and layered on top. This is how I like to do it, and might be weird for some. Then a tin of tuna, and that's wild caught, if you can get it. They're not expensive. Wild caught tin of tuna that you can actually get in olive oil as well is about £2.50. Okay, that on top of that, so you got the base of a jacket potato, bit of butter, mixed vegetables on top, then on top of that tuna, and actually that is one of my favourite meals. I like the sort of overall taste of everything put together. Tuna on its own, not so much. You add that jacket potato and the vegetables with it, quite nice. So that's my sort of midday meal. Afternoon meal, so you're looking 6 o'clock, something like that. Your general rice, which will be roughly about 200 grams. Chicken, don't know how many grams that is, but I've worked out that, I'm trying to think, roughly about the size of khaki, like that. I cut up, so I get them in like chunks, chicken chunks. Each chunk is maybe a little bit smaller than that. And I'll put about 10 of them, and I sort of cut them in halves. Stick it in with the rice, and a tin of peas, all loose. So you've got rice, chicken, peas. And I say every one of these meals is roughly about 50 grams protein. And then before I go to bed, so you're looking an hour before I go to bed, maybe 2 hours before I go to bed. So roughly, let's say 3 hours after that, at 9 o'clock, 9:30, something around that, in the evening, it's going to be a protein shake. So roughly about half a pint of milk, whatever you want to use, and a good high scoop of a protein shake. Most protein shakes will give you somewhere around between 20 and 25 grams per level scoop. So if you take a good sort of heaped scoop, so it's sort of overflowing, stick that in, about 30 grams. So that is the sort of like a starter's diet, and it's not expensive. I mean, a tin of beans and 4 eggs, a single jacket potato, a tin of tuna, tin of mixed vegetables, and then you've got rice, which is very cheap. It's mainly sort of like the chicken, tuna, and the vegetables. Everything else is pretty much dirt cheap. And of course, the protein shake powder, but 1 scoop a day. You could get like a smaller bag, and it'll last you a month if you're only having 1 scoop a day. You want to get as much protein in you, but I've always been one to try and get it out of food more than the shakes if I can. So that's basically it. That's the sort of starters protein for somebody of my age. Now if you're younger, obviously it's not really a video for you, but if you're younger, I would split a lot of that sort of meals in half and have more like 6 meals a day of 25 grams. You can do it as you please, but you want roughly that. You can do that at my age if you want. If for any reason I get hungry in between, it'll be maybe a bit of fruit or some nuts. Okay, like 1 handful of nuts, or it'll be a single fruit like a banana in between. I very much doubt it, but if need be, or I can have maybe like a rice cake with a slab of peanut butter on, you know, just to take the hunger off. I don't think I'll need. Well, I've been on this a week and I'm not hungry, so. But that is an option. I've got those things there just in case. But it's an option, but I don't need them right now. And I shouldn't need them if I'm going to lose weight. I shouldn't start getting more hungry, if you know what I mean. Good amount of protein there. This is for somebody of my age trying to lose some weight and keep muscle. Then when I've lost the weight, I might up that protein a little bit, add an extra protein shake or something like that, just to start building that muscle up. And it all depends on how you want to start as well. If you're coming back like I am from a long time away from the gym, I've probably at least 10 years, because I had an accident when I was roughly about 35 in a car, not my fault, knocked my back out completely. That put me back a couple of years before I was even able to, and then you lose the interest. And then 3 years ago I had a motorcycle accident, so I got a band aid. I was going to go back to the gym then, and then within a few months I had the accident, and I was like, for God's sake, is what it is. It's life, isn't it? But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think. If you need any, I know you might think, oh, who's this one? I have been around in the bodybuilding side, the natural, and the strongman side, in just more interest. And I have done some strongman sort of training and a couple of very amateur contests, nothing major, you know, like starters ones, beginners ones, in the strongman, and never did bodybuilding contests, but that was more my interest of how I wanted my body to be. Then as I got older, sort of around mid-20s, I went more into like the strength side of things for a good sort of about 8-9 years doing that, and watching those strongman contests and stuff. And then I had car accidents which almost ripped me off, and ever since then, apart from now, I've not really had the interest to go back. But I've got a bit of time now. I've got a bit of time and some interest back. So, but I've always, as I say, I've always kept the interest in watching some bodybuilders and strong men and all that kind of, and keeping up with nutrition. So that's it. That's as good as you're going to get for a natural foods, if you will. And apart from the protein shake, just to get that extra bit in at the end of the day. So I'm not looking for like super high calories. I'm looking more for the protein, which is this diet is more like a bodybuilder's diet than it is a strongman's diet. This is more about the protein than it is the calories. Okay, just I forgot to tell you that at the start. If you like this, I say, if you want some advice, if you're thinking of going back again, just let me know, and I'll send you some messages. And I don't know everything, but I do have a good background knowledge of some training and diet. So, but I'm not an expert. I don't get this. I'm not paid to do this or anything else. You know, it isn't my daily job. But you know, time is experience. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you'll follow me in my my training, diet, and hopefully the way I'm starting in the gym is strength. Do that for about 2 months, and then I'll go into the bodybuilding side of things. So thanks a lot. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Really help me out. Hopefully you'll follow me on my journey, and I'll see you again soon on the next video.